Hey everyone, welcome to the channel where we love to talk about movies. Welcome especially if you're new. If you enjoy talking about movies and staying up to speed on what's in theaters and what's worth checking out, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a review. Alright, with that, we're going to get into today's review, which is for Medieval. I just got back from seeing it in the theater, so let's dive on in. So in this movie, this is the story of 15th century Czech icon and warlord Jan Žižka, who defeated armies of the Teutonic Order and the Holy Roman Empire. So we're just going to do this in the new format of reviews that I've been starting up, and that's just to talk to 5 points on the film. Some of them may be positive, some of them may be negative, and then we'll just conclude with my final thoughts. So first and foremost, I really like the music for this film. It seems like a lot of times the medieval films have a pretty good soundtrack, and this one I thought was no exception. It maybe could have used a little bit more music throughout, but the pieces that we got were definitely really good, and it's one that I'm going to look to find and listen to on its own. Next up, I thought the locations and like scenery and picture quality were all really good. It had a very like clean but also kind of like natural and gritty look to the film. It definitely leans in the color grading of like very gray and muted, but I thought it was a good look for the film, and that's what a lot of medieval films do, but again, I think it works. On the flip side of that, though, point number three was the shaky cam. I did not really care for how they did the action in this film. It was a lot of shaky cam, a lot of like really close up, and a lot of, or like close up shots, and then a lot of like quick cuts. And it's a lot of like back to back to back cuts. So it just wasn't the type of action that I really enjoy. But if that is your thing, then you'll probably like it. But I prefer other types of action, especially if you can do action in a single take. Yeah, I mean, it definitely communicates a certain sort of like hecticness of the battles, but I think there's other ways to do that that just work better than than all of those qualities of the shots. And then fourth point, I really liked one of the battles that we had part of the way through the film. I won't go into like story details or anything, but the tactics employed throughout that battle were just really interesting to watch as they unfolded. So I liked that part of the film. And then lastly, of all the characters, I thought none of them were all that interesting, with the exception of Catherine. I thought she was the only character that was any like sort of engaging and held my interest throughout the film. But yeah, for the rest of them, they were all pretty straightforward characters, and yeah, I thought yeah, Catherine though, I'll keep it at that. I don't want to really go into spoilers, so that is yeah. I thought and kind of along that front, the scripting for the characters was the script was fine. It was nothing all that impressive, but so yeah, those are kind of the 5 points, the things that stood out to me for the film. Wrapping things up, overall, I do give this one a C. I like kind of wanted to give it something higher because I think there is a lot of like good quality in the production of the film between the music and yeah, like the scenery and sets and costumes. Those were all really well done, but at the end of the day, the story really wasn't all that engaging for me, and that just left me kind of bored throughout the film. I do think the third act was the strongest, so it did end on a bit higher of a note and had me considering going into the B category. But at the end of the day, I feel like this was a fine film, and it wasn't one that I could say was a good film. So that's kind of the distinction. C is in the fine category, and B gets into good movie territory. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not one that I would recommend. It's certainly not a bad film, though, so I wouldn't say steer clear of it, but it's not one that I'd recommend. Unfortunately, credit due to everyone who worked on the movie, but that's my honest take on it. So if you've had a chance to see the film, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. And with that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next review.